Hey guys.
Hey, we're live.
All right. What is up? I think my AirPods disconnected.
Oh, I can hear you great.
Okay. My
Yeah.
AirPods disconnected. Um,
I forgot.
all right. I think we're live on
We
YouTube.
are. I was like, I'm
We are
missing
for sure.
something.
Did you check?
It says live for 30 seconds. We're here. We're doing things.
All right. We're doing things. All right. Hey guys.
Hey, everyone. So, what are we talking about today?
One of the questions that we get asked all the time is, how do you do, thanks, Marissa, how do you do what you do? How did you get started? What can you share with me, or what advice can you give so that I can build my own business? So I thought it would be fun for us, as we've kind of grown our businesses together. Kind of, you came in and I've like watched you grow, and I kind of started very organically and you did it the same way. And I thought it would be fun to share our favorite tips and tricks with everyone.
Yeah, I'm
So if you're
definitely
just,
excited.
I know, right? I'm stoked for this one.
Yeah, this will be awesome because it's true. Like, we do get asked so much, like, how to get started with comics and just like every aspect of it, from packing to the market to the grading, like literally all of the things. So,
Like everything in between. What should I buy? What should I not buy? What were your first books when you jumped in? That's a really frequent question, I think. Today I asked in my story, and someone's question was, what was your budget when you got started? So I don't know. I guess let's dive in. We kind of already shared our background stories. Sam's been doing this for a couple years now. I've been doing this for, oh my gosh, I can't believe I've been doing this for like 16 years. Over 16 years.
Oh, 16.
Feels like a lifetime. And if you're just jumping in, hey, welcome. Hey. Thanks for joining us. So I would say, well, what's your first tip? We'll just kind of bounce back and forth.
You know, when I started into comics, we talked about my backstory before, where like Tony was like super into comics. He had so much invested into comics, and he had so many that alone, and like my love for the animated series as a kid, got me like really intrigued to know more about comics.
Yeah.
And so with that being said, I quickly saw and learned from Tony that like the biggest thing is grading. Like,
yeah,
knowing your grades.
Yeah.
Like slab grades, dirty grades, you know, going out and hunting, knowing, you know, your defects, and before you present a book.
How many pages, right? Because if you're buying Golden Age books, they don't all have the same number of pages. You'll get some Golden Age books with 68 pages, some have 52, and then they drop down into 36 pages on the super late Golden Age sometimes. So that, I think, is one of the biggest ones, is making sure your book is complete. Mm-hmm. Marvel value stamps.
Oh my gosh, coupons.
Yep. And there's a website called comics.org. I wonder if I can add that. Can I add a comment of my own? Guys, I'm still learning all this. You guys know how inept I am with social media.
Comics.org.
So comics.org
Write it down.
I know. Well, I was gonna I was gonna try to write it and put it on the screen, but I don't know how to do that. So I'm just not gonna do it.
I was gonna say, like, they can jot it down.
Yeah. Let's see. Write down comics.org, because you can literally type any single title into there, and you can see how many pages a book has. They have one where, like, if it's missing, if you have a book that's missing like the first half and you can't see what issue number it is, it has a cover gallery. So it's just a super, super resourceful site. It tells you who the artists are, who did the cover, who did the interior. It's just a very, very helpful site as you're learning how to count pages, how to learn who artists are.
Absolutely. And the Overstreet Grading Guide, the book, is super, super helpful too, because you can have that like right on your side when you're going through books, because there is a direct correlation between a comic grade and the price.
Yeah, right. Well, and I know that like some people, once you get into like Silver Age keys, they'll do like price points per grade, right? Like some people will price like a Fantastic Four one. I mean, now the price point's crazy, but
Mhm.
8,000 a point. So if you have a 1.0, they say it's like 8,000, a 2.0, 16,000. I personally just use I check eBay solds. I pay attention to what's going on in the social media world. And then I'm a huge, huge, huge advocate for GP analysis. It's comics.gpanalysis.com. I have no affiliation to them, but I have been using them for, oh my gosh, I think almost since they came out almost, I think. And it's the best $10 a month you can spend, because you can look up any book, any grade, restored, unrestored, signed, and it'll give data points for all of it for you.
Oh, I love using GP. I always call it GPA analysis, but it's GP analysis.
Or I just say GPA.
I don't know, right? But yes, that
GPA
website,
analysis.
I love it. It is so helpful. It pulls, like you said, it pulls from so many different areas. Again, it falls back on making sure you know like your grade, like if it's graded, then you have a solid grade. But if it's raw, having like the estimated grade and like going from there, because on GPA, the prices are according to the grade.
Yeah.
So it all falls back on there. But yeah, it's so resourceful because it just pulls from so much.
Right.
And then you can see what's going on live with that particular issue as well.
Yeah. And so when I use it for raw books, because I'll still check raw books against it, but I'll usually knock down the grade, a half grade to a full point. And that goes for when I'm buying and selling, because you can't sell for, there's like margin of error, right? I'm usually within a half grade when I grade stuff. Sometimes I hit it dead on. Sometimes I'm a half point low. But I try to go a little under, because there is a premium when you sell an already graded book.
Mm-hmm. Oh, agree. Because it's like knowing that that is the grade on the slab. But then, of course, it's graded. It took the time. It took the money. However long.
Right. So, yeah, that's how I do it. So I think our first tip is probably know grading standards and like what makes a 4.0, what makes an 8.0. For me, I always still to this day struggle when you get into like 9.4, 9.6, 9.8, because it is literally a couple of spine ticks sometimes that drop it from like 9.8 to 9.4 even. So know your market, know grading standards, and get comfortable with grading books. Give yourself some tests, pick some cheap books, grade them what you think will grade them, and send them in for grading. See how they come back. And that's a great way to kind of see, okay, how in tune am I?
Oh, I love that. I love that.
Because then you know, right? I mean, there's not a better test than that.
Oh, for sure. I do that too. I keep track of books when I send them in.
Yeah.
And then when they come in.
Yeah, so you can check yourself, right? I think that it's good to do that sometimes. And I think that it's good for everyone, whether you're new in the hobby or you're old school veteran, because it's constantly the things that they dock for and the way that like they dock different things, and the grading standards are forever changing. So I think we all need to kind of check ourselves sometimes.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it helps too with like those weird defects, right? Like rust, stain.
Oh yeah.
Like Andy
get
Bug
me
Andy
all the
time.
It. Oh, I'm so bad with stains. And sometimes you can't see them very well. And you're like, why did this grade get hammered? And then you stare at it for like 15 minutes until you're like, oh, there's like the slightest. Hey, DB. Hey, Serge. Welcome in, guys. Yeah, stains get me sometimes. All right. So GPA, I guess the next thing that kind of ties into that is networking.
Mhm.
Reach out to fellow community members, ask for tips. I know that I get them sometimes, and I can be so bad about getting back to people. I'm sorry. There are so many messages sometimes, and I just am like, I need an assistant or wine.
Okay. It's hard, yeah. I was just talking about this. So another good thing that I actually wish I had done in the beginning is find a better way of communication, because had I known that Instagram taps your inbox out at 90, was it 99?
Yeah, I did not know that until you shared
That
that with me.
sucks. Because everything gets pushed out of your inbox.
Right. And it like
Gone.
auto deletes, right?
Yeah, it's like gone.
Yeah.
So I would say, like, with having a comic business, I would definitely say find like a really good form of communication. Things that we're like personally looking at right now is like potentially getting like WhatsApp business. I've never used WhatsApp, but
I
hopefully we can get a business number. So that's another side tip I didn't even write down that I like literally just thought of, because that's one thing I had wished I had done better.
Yeah, I love that. I have WhatsApp, but I don't have WhatsApp business. I didn't know that you could get a separate number just specifically for, because I love that idea. I'm going to have to look into that for myself and see if I can have two accounts simultaneously, because I love that idea. I will say, when we're talking about like networking and chatting with fellow community members, I think one of the tips that I'll say that you shouldn't do is spam people and tag them in things that are not relevant to comic book stuff. Or I don't know, sometimes I get tagged in crazy things and I get like all of these spam messages, even from like fellow comic people, and it's inundating sometimes.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You don't want to mark yourself.
Yeah, seriously. Don't be that person. All right, what else? This is the first time, guys, I've actually written a list of like all of my notes and points that I want to cover.
There's so many things, right?
Yes. Because like, I don't know, I feel like you get to do this once and then you move on, but we get to save it so people can reference it.
Yeah.
I guess this goes back to like fellow community members. And once you start selling, right, it is to treat people well. It is okay. Oh, thank you, Wonderland. Google Voice is
cool.
a different number. Okay, thank you for sharing that. It's okay to not get every single penny. I know you have to learn your profit margins. We all are willing to work on different profit margins. Mine now are not the same as they were when I started in the beginning. I'm willing to work on less now. Hey, Ryan, thanks.
Thank you.
I'm willing to work on much smaller margins now because I'm dealing in more expensive books. So I can sell one book and make 10% instead of selling 50 books and making 30%. But it's okay to leave a little meat on the bone when you're selling.
I agree. I 100% agree with that. Because like when we do our sales, it's either on Whatnot or Instagram. On Whatnot, it's cool because it's the $1 start bid. The room gets to set the price, whether it's going for $1 zillion on eBay, whatever the room decides, the room, virtual, whatever the auction goes for is what it goes for. Someone will, get like an awesome deal. And it's fun. And then on Instagram, when we do like the buy it now stuff, it is super important to like leave, like you said, leave some meat on the bones, and it just makes it fun. It makes the hobby great. Like we have a bazillion comics. We have over 30,000 comics. And for me, I can't just look at a book and be like, oh, I know this book is worth X. Yeah. You know what I mean? So our starting point is, okay, we price the book at where the market has on it, and then we are open to offers on everything. And that makes it fun. Now, if you Now, if you buy a book,
What does this mean? Serge, is that a typo? Before I just delete it, I want to make sure that's a typo. From your... All right, go ahead. I'm going to leave that up for a second before I delete it.
That was weird. Yeah, so while
I love that you did that, by the way. So I guess that goes back to networking, right? And like giving back to fellow community members.
Yes, last night we helped our LCS did a live from Instagram. It was so much fun because I know it took a lot for shops to get through the year of COVID. And where things really aren't back to normal yet. It just was like so fun and so exciting to, uplift our local shop. And he had never done a live sale before. And it was just so much fun. It was so much fun, girl.
It looked like fun. I'm so glad you did that. Was he happy with his results?
Oh my gosh, he was so happy. He was so excited to see people were on.
I love that.
Like, oh yeah, there's 70 people on. He's like, oh my gosh, really? He's just
That's
so
awesome. I love that.
Sweet.
That's
He's always
awesome.
giving us like fun deals. I mean, he'll take the boys and play with them on the pinball machines while me and Tony are like hunting around, and yeah, it's always a blast in there. And it was just so nice to giving back. And I think that's also a huge part of it, is giving back to the community. Yep. I know it's harder with COVID to like do that in person often, but there's ways to do that online as well.
I agree. I'm always down to jump into like a charity auction. Even sharing advice is giving back, right? Because you never know who's listening, who you're inspiring, who you're helping. Sharing is caring. I feel like knowledge is power, and the more people know, the better it is for hobbies as a whole. And that goes across all hobbies, right? Like it can be in games, it can be in cards, it can be in comics. Like that is just genuine good business practices.
Absolutely.
All right. Sammy and I were talking about this earlier because she was saying, because we were talking about cardboard. If you saw my Instagram today, I posted a picture of pre-cut cardboard. And I got like legit 7-8 messages asking where I got that cardboard because people's hands were cramping. And for probably, when did I start buying cardboard? For probably a good 10 years, I was cutting all my own cardboard. And going back years ago, I used to sell a ton on eBay. Serge, I figured, so that's why I was waiting to see what you were going to say. I do still have books from the last auction. So I used to cut thousands of pieces of cardboard, and my hand used to cramp carpal tunnel like whoa. Okay. And so I started buying cardboard a few years ago, and seriously, it is the best. First of all, it's a write-off because it's a business expense. First. Second, your time that you spend cutting that cardboard can be spent doing something that brings in money, whether it's posting on social media, whether it's answering emails, listing something for sale. You, depending on how much volume you're doing, can save yourself hours. Over time, you save yourself days of time and your hands from cramping. Buy the cardboard. I don't know other sites. I personally use Bags Unlimited. That's no affiliation to them other than they're located in Rochester. So when I still lived in Rochester, I could just place my order and 2 hours later, go pick it up.
Oh, wow.
I know. It was so nice.
That's nice. Yeah, we've been ordering pre-cut cardboard. I never lived the cutting the cardboard life.
It's pretty awful.
But I can't imagine because I can't stand cardboard.
It's really one of those if you know things. Mm-hmm. So the message that I was getting were people saying, oh my God, where has this been all my life? I remember when Rage didn't know about pre-cut cardboard for the first time.
My gosh.
He was mind blown about it. Like literally.
finally got him to switch.
Right. So buy the pre-cut cardboard. It is a business expense. It is worth the time saved.
Mm-hmm.
And really, if you buy in big volume, it's not that expensive. I think it's like if you buy 1,000 sheets at a time or more, I want to say it's less than 10 cents a sheet. It's so cheap.
And how, like on that note, having good shipping supplies.
Yes, that was a great segue.
Everything. Let me show you something, actually.
So I know you just did a video. Ryan, you'll appreciate this one since you sent me extra padding.
Make sure your stuff is packed well. I'm just opening right now. I should have had this. I didn't even.
By the way, you did a shipping video, didn't you, on your page?
Oh yeah, like how to pack comics. Yes, you did an amazing one.
On the Skeleton Keys page on YouTube, go subscribe. And they actually, what is that?
That's a comic.
Is it crap?
In an L shape. In my P.O. box.
Yeah, these mail people are savages.
But they probably didn't know it was a comic book. They probably thought it was a magazine, like a Cosmo,
right?
Like a subscription.
Was there cardboard in it?
Mm-mm.
They just put the comic in the mailer and mailed it?
So because if it's in a Gemini box, it's not going to end up in your mailbox in an L shape. It's not going to get
I don't
folded.
use Gemini boxes all the time. I will sometimes
use cardboard.
I use cardboard, yes.
And I think that makes
Tony and Sam are ridiculous packers. They're overpackers.
Thanks. Yeah.
Literally, like
I'm not even gonna own that.
The best packers. When I got the package, it took me like 5 minutes to open. I was like, how many more layers to this are there?
But you've got to use cardboard. You've got to use good packaging.
You need to use at least cardboard at the very least. So when I do them in mailers, I do cardboard and then I wrap it in bubble wrap a couple times, and I have more swords than keys. That's amazing, DB. I know some people are going to have like nerdy girl sticker stashes soon.
That's awesome.
So you cannot just put a book, a slab. I've had people put like a piece of cardboard in a slab and just shove it in the box, and that's it. You need to use cardboard. You need to use bubble wrap. You have to package a slab in bubble wrap or something because it's just not safe, especially lately. Mail carriers are savages. They don't want to be doing this. They are offensive with packages. Sorry, not sorry if you're a mail worker. If you're a good one, I appreciate you. But a lot of people just are not nice to packages anymore.
Mm-hmm. And that obviously definitely changes the grade. I mean, that book that ended up in our P.O. box in an L shape.
Huge.
That modern near mint book is probably just not
a VG.
Maybe.
Right. Like when the whole book is done like that, it's probably a VG. I've had someone use a cutting board for vegetables. Stop it, Bob. Well, at least it's like not breakable.
Right.
Like at least it's sturdy.
That's true. I've had someone ship.
So I have seen
2 sheets of metal. Actually,
that's heavy packaging
over the top.
Oh my gosh. Wonderland, I have seen this trend of pool noodles. I don't use it because I don't want to cut up all those pool noodles. That's why I buy pre-cut cardboard. Time is money. But I have seen this pool noodle trend and it looks cool. I've never personally gotten one like that. But I do know what you're talking about. Okay. That was one of my other points is like, as you grow your business, you grow smarter with your time. You find things that are like, especially if you're doing this as a business, right? It's one thing to do it as a collector. It's another thing if you're running a business. As a business, you learn to do more income producing things, like not cutting your cardboard, you know?
Yeah. And one thing too is don't anything that's a business, it's like a baby. It's like having a baby. You got to plan for it, prepare, over research, be that new parent that's like
Yeah.
overdoing it.
Yeah.
Because for me, Tony and I were apart from each other for a while he was deployed, but I studied the comic market,
Yeah.
comic grading, everything about comics for
Yeah.
over a year before I even sold a single one.
That's
And
amazing.
like Tony had been selling on eBay for a while, for several years, but it took a while. I think it was like 2 years of us like talking about it and me like really immersing myself into comics before we really started like the selling in bigger quantity.
Oh, okay. So that is another great one that I wrote down. It is, don't compare yourself to other businesses, because where I am and where someone else is are not the same. And a long time ago, I heard comparison is the thief of joy.
Yes.
And right, if you know, you know.
I say
comparison is the thief of joy.
Yes,
and
exactly.
You are on a separate journey than I am. Sam is on a separate journey. I'm on a separate journey. And you just have to set your own goals, right? And you can never set like these big giant goals. Like I don't know. I want to make $1 million this year. Well, that's great. We all do. But if you're just saying that and you have no plans to get there, it doesn't work. So you have to set small goals. I'm going to go find my first comic book collection. I'm going to research. I'm going to see what kind of books I want to buy. And, start small. Don't go in and feel like you have to go balls to the wall right out of the gate. Start small.
Absolutely.
Huh? Did you like that? I'm here for it, guys. But it's true, right? Like start small, get your toes wet. Find someone that you can bounce ideas off of. Talk to your friends, talk to fellow comic book community members. Some of these people, they will spend some people, they love to just talk all day about comic books. They love to share advice. There are so many accounts out there that are there to just talk comics. Join the CGC boards. They have chat boards over there, and there's a wealth of information on the CGC chat boards. Like in the old threads, like I learned so much on the CGC boards.
And there's a lot of great YouTube channels that you can learn from.
Oh, huge on YouTube.
Oh my God. Absolutely. So yeah. And back to like when you were saying like comparison is the thief of joy, comics, you cannot compare your business to somebody else's, not in comics.
It will ruin you.
Your customer base is different based on the demographic that you have surrounding you. No collection is the same.
No two people are the same.
Exactly. So it's like for us, we went from like a lot of the community was really hungry for the graded books to all of a sudden like everyone was home, like stuck at home, and it went to, like we would prefer like raw books because like I want to read it. I want to work on it. A lot of people are getting into pressing and testing out cleaning. Like I want to buy the books raw and grade them ourselves. And so we have always like tweaked and like changed our business according to our community.
You're following like what the market's doing.
So you've got to make sure you're not like comparing yourself to others and look at what other comic businesses are doing, but focus on the community that you have, your customer base, get their advice, do polls, go live, make posts that create conversation about, things that you're trying to figure out in your business that's going to better help and serve your community. And that will really help you pave the way of your business.
Yeah, I think that's great. And on social media, if you're choosing, because I know for me personally, COVID completely changed the way I did business. Like 1,000% changed the way I did business. I used to set up at like 5-6 shows a year. I sold a lot on eBay. And when COVID hit, I transitioned almost exclusively to Instagram. And so if you are going to build your business through a social media platform, you have to be consistent. You cannot post one day and then not post for a week.
Mhm.
Is when you do that, you become irrelevant. Sorry, not sorry, but it's true. It's a really harsh truth. Like consistency is so key when you're building up that following, right? Like you've gone gangbusters on social. No, but actually, like you've done a great job growing your platform. And if you weren't consistent with that, it would not have grown as fast as it has.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
So you have to stay consistent and you have to follow like what's going on in the market.
Yeah, for sure. That's huge because it's for me, I'll speak for myself. It's like completely unrealistic to be able to keep up to date every single day with everything. Focus on a couple resources that are really helpful that'll help you stay relevant and up to date with going on. Whether it's an online website or like a trending list or a particular YouTube channel or like one of each. That's really helpful because it not only keeps you relevant with your own business, but it helps you connect with others. I know if I wasn't always like at least staying up to date in some areas, I wouldn't be able to have a conversation with on Instagram about what's going on and stuff like that and participate.
Yeah. Do you have any advice on becoming eligible? I don't think you have to be eligible to sell. I think that you just can.
Yeah. And just create a business account on Instagram.
Let's see. Oh, you know what? One of the notes I wrote was share some of the lows. Because like it's not always gravy, right? Like I know in my business, there were times back in like 2008, 2009 when like the whole economy was crazy. My business took a huge hit. There were times when there was like crazy struggling. So it's not always easy. There are times when I've like hustled. If you could see my first ever booth that I ever did to my booth when I set up at the last show, it's night and day. I used to go with just long boxes, no wall behind me. And I was selling like $3, $5 books in my first shows.
That's cool.
So it's this evolution, right? Of you start small, you hustle what you can. And this is a grind. This is not an easy career path. It is a grind. Even still today, I still grind between doing whatnot sales, shipping, Instagram, answering emails, doing live sales, posting. Even doing posts are time consuming sometimes because you have to think about, okay, what hashtags should I use? What do I want to do that I think will engage people? Some of these posts haven't been as engaging. How do I get this one to get some traction?
Oh, absolutely. It's a lot of labor of love.
That's so true. Perfect.
It really is a labor of love. You have to enjoy it and you have to enjoy it and you have to be genuine with it.
Yeah.
Because if you don't love it and you're not genuine and you're not positive, do you know what I'm saying? Like I know there's
you have to be, it's good vibes.
Yeah, because if you're not that way, it's not enough. It won't be enough to keep pushing through it for so long. Because for me, I actually went to bed early last night. I went to bed at midnight. Can you believe that?
I'm shocked.
I meant to tell you that. I went to bed
Android
at midnight last night.
For Halloween, I hope you're an Android. I'm being Rapunzel.
I go to bed around 4:30 in the morning, Eastern Standard Time, almost every single day, because I'm working, doing the comic thing, whether it's grading comics or bagging and boarding.
Bagging and boarding, the most time-consuming thing.
And it's like, you know, if you don't love it and your heart isn't in the right place with the business, it wouldn't be enough.
It's reflected.
There's a zillion other things that I can say would not be enough to keep me up at 4:30 in the morning and still wake up 2 hours later happy about it.
Yeah.
But
agree.
So
that's so true. Yeah, you have to. And you have to know that in the beginning, especially, that shit is a grind. Like, that is a Serge. Can you send me an email? I'm nerdygirl1031@gmail.com. My grandma's birthday was Halloween. That's why I have 1031.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So nerdygirl1031.
Yeah, at Gmail. It truly is a labor of love, though. That is the perfect statement for this. And you have to want it. And you have to know it's going to take time, and you don't just walk in and you're here.
Yeah.
You got to pay your dues. Right?
Yeah, because if you think about like time per hour, like I was like, I did the math one day, you know, time per hour and then, you know, your sales and stuff. Because someone was like, how much do you make? And it's like, let me check, because I think I make more money flipping burgers at McDonald's.
It's not quantifiable. That's how much I make. It's on a need-to-know basis.
Right? It's like, if we must talk about it, like I think I make like $2 an hour.
Don't say offensive things.
It's funny saying out loud, I do love comics and I love the hobby, and that's why I'm here. But I mean, if we're being honest, with the time put in, it's not much.
When we ask that question in 5 years, though, I can't wait to hear your answer.
Yeah, it'll probably be $10 an hour.
That's 5 times. What are you talking about?
It is.
My uncle had to sell his. All right, I'll show your comment. My uncle had to sell his bookshop, so my mother-in-law bought it for him. I'm slowly in the process. Right, DB? It's so true. I've got 4 massive boxes to sell, but hard to find a new bookseller. What kind of books? Well, feel free to shoot Sammy or I a message. It's so true. That is why I love Whatnot sales. I get to engage with people in a fun way, and there's no pressure for me. Yes. Like, that is why I like doing those auctions. It's not for the money. It's because it is genuinely fun for me to do them. I always watch heritage auctions, and my dream is to one day for them to say to me, Danielle, you get to be our auctioneer for one of the sessions. I'm waiting for the day Heritage makes me that offer. If anyone from Heritage sees this, I am waiting.
Reach out.
Please reach out, because I think that it is so fun. Look, even when I jump on with you, it is so fun for me to like watch people play to win something.
Yeah, we'll be on in the morning, right? Yep.
Yeah, we'll be on tomorrow morning. Hopefully they let us both on this week, because last week we couldn't get it to work for some reason.
That was a stinker. I'm sure it'll work.
All right. So what were my next question? My next notes? I had know what your profit margins you want, treat people well, be consistent. Oh, when and if you decide to start doing shows. It took me years to go to a show fully prepared with all of my stuff priced. I used to go to shows and I would still be pricing my books at the show. And when you price your books, put your stickers on the front of the book so that people do not have to ask you to take books down from the wall. They just want to walk up to your booth and not feel pressure and I know that even as a seller, like, or even as a buyer rather, not a seller, but when I'm walking a show floor, like I just want to sometimes walk up to a booth and just check it out. Do you feel that?
Yeah, because like knowing your grades and stuff, like I'll just walk and I'll like scan with my eyes and I'll look at the price and then I start computing in my head, like, all right, estimated grade.
Do I want to go look at this? Do I want to see this closer? Or do I want to just keep going? It saves me time. It saves you time from having to take it down. Oh, well, I'm sorry, Fresh. That sounds like bad family drama.
Oh, that stinks.
Hopefully you can work it out with them and maybe they'll give you better space. Well, if they want comics, they should give you more space. There's my doctor. Who is it? Dr. Ruth?
I thought you were going to say Dr. Phil. I don't know any of these doctors.
So yeah, and be organized at shows. Like, I much prefer going to an organized booth than a chaotic booth.
Oh, 100%.
And start with small shows. Don't go in and your first show be like a massive show. You also know you love it when you name your kids after X-Men. It's so true. Sammy's the best for that.
Yeah. DB, what's yours name, if you don't mind?
Yeah.
Me asking.
Sharing, yeah.
Yeah, Tony and I, well, I think you know that, Danielle. Tony and I both
Yeah,
know
I love that.
Yeah. So funny.
I'm going to pour a little more wine while we're
you're
chatting, guys. And if I see some people on, if you guys have questions, please feel free to chat with us and drop them because we're just going to keep working through our lists. I can't believe we've been on for 40 minutes already.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah.
What's next on our list?
All right. So next I have be consistent, price books ahead of time, understand market trends, try not to buy into the high and into speculation. I think that is such a huge point. Don't buy into the speculation. If it's something you genuinely want and you're interested in, okay. But I have seen a lot of people buy in at peaks and highs because they think that it's part of something that's going to be huge, and it ends up not being huge. I don't know how you feel about that.
No, I agree. Because it's that FOMO. It's like falling into the FOMO. Yeah. If you love it, like she said, like if you love it and this book is like speaking to you, or you know, it's been on your mind, you've been wanting it for a long time, then yeah. But if you're purely buying it
because you're trying to speculate, and
that's a bit financially dangerous.
It is dangerous. One of the other points I had was don't go into debt. Like, I have heard people say max out your credit cards, take out home equity loans, unless you have a clear plan in place. Don't go into crazy debt to make it happen, especially if you're not fully prepared with a full understanding of the market. Yeah, I think that is such a huge thing.
No, I 100% agree with that, for sure.
I will say, and I'll throw this out there, that if somebody wants to come into the market and they have a collection that they know they can buy, find someone to finance it for you and split it. I've done that with people. Split a collection with someone where you have someone that's experienced and can help you and say, okay, yes, this is a deal. No, that's not a deal. You shouldn't do that. Don't just go out and say, okay, this feels like a good deal if you don't actually know and you go into debt over that, because you can really hurt yourself.
Oh, for sure.
In a key-oriented market, how do you sell issues that only those completing runs would buy? So, well, you answer this one.
I'm trying to like figure out. So it's saying in a key-oriented market.
So he's saying like not the keys, all the other stuff. Like, how do you sell the not big keys? And I think that, that's his question. He's saying like, because everyone's searching for keys all the time. What do you do with the other stuff?
Well, those who are searching for keys, most times, 9 times out of 10, are also looking for the other stuff, or the stuff like their favorite artists or their favorite time period in comics, or they like the cover because it connects to them in some way. So I find it like just as easy to sell the issues that aren't keys as the ones that are. Like for me, I'm a Steranko collector. I'm a Russell Dodderman collector. I'm also a Jim Lee collector. I love Golden Age whenever I can find it. And I also love keys, of course, but I'm talking about outside of those.
Yeah.
But I also love the 90s gimmicks comics. And so that is a lot of different things. So when I go hunting and I see like a key issue that belongs to a character that I love, yeah, I'll grab it. But every single 90s comic that I don't have in my PC already, any Golden Age or
She
Stranko or
loves
any
her
other
some
one stuff,
Wendy.
it's going in my box.
Yeah.
I want it.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of customers like that too. They buy the comics that they're looking for. They buy the keys, but they also buy the quirky stuff that is like their thing. That's like
Yeah.
their niche, their space, and comics that they love outside of the big stuff or the stuff they invest in.
Well, I would say just price it to sell, right? Or
Mhm.
I know I used to do a lot of no reserve eBay auctions, and I would take the books that I was going to get chunks of money out on, and then I would sell the rest. Because she's right? Everyone is not just only seeking keys. They still want other stuff. Or maybe they have their keys and now they're filling in runs.
Oh, absolutely. There's
Or
so many
they
ways.
so many different ways.
Mhm.
I know I do auctions on Whatnot. I know everyone's not on that platform yet, but I do that. But prior to that, I would do claim sales. I would do no reserve auctions.
Mm-hmm. And something that's helpful too, like if you do it like on Instagram or whatnot, like in live sales, or you're even posting it like on an eBay platform,
Yeah.
if it's not a key, what is special about that book? Okay,
Yeah.
it's a 1970 Steranko cover. That can go in your details because someone who's like a young buyer, like
Huge.
newer
Yep.
to the market, they're gonna recognize the staple
Yeah.
Steranko, the iconic
True.
Steranko, but they're not
Put the
gonna,
year.
yeah, and they
Yep.
might not recognize the random Steranko covers, and they'll be like, oh, that's a Steranko, I didn't know that, and pick it up.
Yeah. Or if there's like a character crossover, highlight that
Mhm.
because then you can kind of cross promote, at least on eBay.
Yeah, so any
That's
details
a great
help.
tip. I love that one. Don't go into debt. I did quality over quantity. So for me, this is a huge point at the top of my list. I can't believe I forgot this one. Reinvest in your business. I would say at least half of your profits you should put aside to reinvest in your business if you can. At least 25%. And whether that's saving it and waiting for a bigger book, because you guys know, if you know me, I'm forever preaching quality over quantity. I am all for moving one book for X amount instead of 100 books for X amount when I can. So reinvest in your business, take the money, turn it into bigger books, right? Because I guess it also depends what's your ultimate goal. Do you always just want to sell long boxes because you like doing that and you like sorting, you like bagging and boarding? Like some people genuinely love picking up giant collections. They love being able to dig through the boxes and find treasures and see what they get. And it's true. Like it's fun to
That's me.
yeah, but you also just as much I wasn't even referring to you, Sam. Look. That wasn't what I meant.
I know. I'm both things. I'm both ways.
So if that is what you want to do because you love that thrill, because it's a thrill, right? To take a gamble and hope that you find some really epic shit. It's fun. Or I know that I'm at a point where I don't want to do as much of that. I'm okay taking on like 10 long boxes or even 15 maybe. Past that, I don't really like to take on that much stuff because I know how much time it's going to take me to work through those collections. Mm-hmm. I would much rather go out and find a book that I feel confident that I can make 15% on, 10% on.
No, I love that. I love doing that where it's like one big book and you make just as much as you do off could have been like a collection of that same price. Now, on the other hand, I do like buying collections. I do have my limit. But I do love the collection buys. They're fun. However, there's a big however. However, I have to have gone through it. All of it.
Yeah, you can't blind buy.
No. If it's like silver bronze age collection, oh, I'm all for it. If it's all modern books, forget it. Like straight up.
Like literally, I won't even buy modern for 10 cents a book.
It's dangerous.
Yeah.
In my opinion. My unprofessional opinion, it's dangerous. Because semi-professional. I don't want anyone to quote me.
Yeah, guys, we do not guarantee anything. We make no guarantees. We are liability free. These are simply practices that work in our businesses that we're sharing with you. So there's our disclaimer.
Yeah. No, I couldn't, because with modern books, it's scary, right? Because if it's below like a near mint, it's not worth cover price, you know? Like, but that same book at like a 9.8 could be worth a lot, but chances are if it's in a ginormous collection, it's, you know,
not.
But Silver Age, Bronze Age, I mean, oh my gosh, could you imagine if I found a Golden Age collection? That would be insane. But
so hype.
Yeah, I have to look at the books.
Yeah.
I would never blind buy. And that goes with also knowing your eras, knowing your meat and potatoes and comics, and knowing at least some type of grading scale, whether it's high, mid, low, or, you know, straight going like VG, VF, near mint, that kind of stuff. It's really important because when you dig through these collections, you have an idea of what it's worth. And if you're getting a good deal.
So true. It's so applicable to every single portion of your business.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely.
I said speculation. Oh, I think this might be my last tip. Do you have any that I don't have?
I think that was all of them.
Okay. My last tip is it is okay to walk away from a deal. Do not feel like you have to get it because you went to see it.
Yep. Agreed.
I think that's just, you do not have to win on every single one. It's okay to say, no, this isn't for me. Not every deal is going to be for you. They're not all one size fits all. Maybe it's too many books. Maybe the values don't make sense. Maybe you just feel like it's too overwhelming. I know I personally wouldn't take in 30 long boxes right now. That would overwhelm the shit out of me. Sorry, not sorry.
The collection we got was 30 boxes.
It was short boxes, though.
Short boxes, yes.
That doesn't count. That's only 15.
All right.
That's only 15. It doesn't count.
Word. Just made me laugh.
Long boxes. That would be 60, Sam.
Yeah. That's a lot.
Right. That's what I'm saying. That's too much. That for me would be beyond my scope.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Okay. Do you have any tips that I did not include?
I think that was everything that we had. And we're almost at the hour too. So
I know. Yeah. We're at 54 minutes. Guys, these are like your last couple seconds. Oh, have fun watching Bueller's auction. Thanks, DB.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for joining us. That's super cool. Have you seen Bueller's thing? Comes with Bueller?
No.
He's sold everything. His house, everything. He's selling his collection. And he bought a van. And he's going to
travel?
He's going to travel the United States and hit as many comic shops as he can.
Oh, shit. That sounds so fun.
Right?
Yeah. I really want like a camper trailer because I finally moved into like the crossover SUV world. Finally. I'm never going back, by the way.
Oh, that's awesome.
But now that I can do it, I want like a cute little camper trailer so I can like travel with it.
That's cool. Oh, you know what? We are getting back together in November.
Yeah. Sam and I, we're going to be back in November. She's coming back down. That means Whatnot sales. That means IG live claim sale. And we can YouTube live together in one setting.
And do fun things.
That's amazing. And do all the fun things. I take her to do more girl things than nerd things. I'm really bad at that. I'm a very bad host.
Oh my gosh, stop. We got to do all the girly things. You're my girlfriend. We live like a zillion miles away. We need to get our nails done. We need to get pedicures.
I need one. I'm so excited for that. So guys, we'll be sneaking up to that. Tony better save up some bail money. I got cash. It's okay. I'll get us out. Guys, do you have any questions before we say sayonara? Hasta luego.
I love your cup.
Thanks. I think this is one the girl in my neighborhood made. Did you see it says Nerdy Girl?
That's super cute. I love it.
I can't remember if I ordered it on Etsy or a girl in my neighborhood made it. Wonderland, thanks so much for joining.
Thanks, Wonderland.
All right. So this has been, I was really excited to share this one because I just think this is such an important video. So I hope you guys share this video with your friends, tag your friends. We'll be back in 2 Fridays, right?
Yeah, not next week, but the next one. Right?
On the next week on the Skeleton Keys channel. So make sure you go subscribe. Let me see. Let me see if I can add.
Okay, the 1st of October. There we go.
Oh, okay. So she's Skeleton Key Comics on Samia's on YouTube. They're Skeleton Key Comics on Instagram. And if you don't know Nerdy Girl Comics, you probably wouldn't be here. So I think that's all we have.
This has been a blast. Thanks everyone for hanging out with us.
Guys, have a great night. And yeah, thanks for hanging. We'll see you in a couple weeks.
Bye.